how come the OBC creamy layer verdict has met directly with the UPSC CSE result of 2025. What is the key issue here, what the Supreme Court has said, and what is the exact clarity that the center is asking for. Hello everyone, welcome to Vajiram and Ravi's Flash News. My name is Shubhangi Singh, and in today's session we are going to understand and dissect this whole matter, that what exactly is the confusion for which center is seeking clarity from the Supreme Court, that you have given the verdict but explain it, lay it out for us, because it doesn't seem absolutely functional. Lay out the criterias. So in this context, let us try to understand that first what exactly is the issue. So the issue here, if you look at it, you will see that on March 6th of 2026, CSE, that is Civil Services Examination 2025, UPSC declared the final results. Now just 5 days later, Supreme Court gave a verdict on OBC creamy layer. Now Supreme Court in that verdict said that when we are looking at identification of creamy layer, salary income, just this cannot be the factor in determining the creamy layer status. Now the result has been declared already and this has come in later, which means there will be a direct impact on the people who have made it to the final list and a few who haven't. So in this context, center decided to go ahead and understand that if this ruling, what Supreme Court has said 5 days later, it is applicable to the results that were declared for CSE 2025 or not. But when we are looking at this issue, you cannot just cap it till 2026. We do have to go a little beyond than this, because this matter started in 1993. Now you will ask me how? Because this was the time when government framework for identification of OBC creamy layer was brought into the picture. But this, in 2014, this interpretation was applied more rigorously, especially when we are talking about civil services recruitment. And then 10 years later, 2024, DOPT gave a clarification, and in that clarification, salary income became a basis for what? For determining the creamy layer status. Now, based on this clarification, Supreme Court gave a verdict saying that salary income alone cannot be determination of the creamy layer status. That means if we are looking at a PSU employee or we are looking at a private income person who are earning the same amount from the OBC category, that cannot be the only determinant of the creamy layer status. Now this also raises question then how that determination will take place. But as of now, center wants to know that what to do for the results that have been declared. Now in this context, issue at first might be seemingly about the fact that it is about how to identify OBC creamy layer. But as of now, this issue is bigger, that how to ensure that recruitment that has already taken place is affected or not, and whatever is going to be decided, how it unfolds in the constitutional framework. Now this issue originally emerged because certain government employees and their kids, they could retain the status of OBC creamy layer because of the post, but when we are talking about private employees and their children, they could not keep the creamy layer status. So for people who do not know what creamy layer status is, when we are talking about OBC category, amidst that, the well-off section, it would be considered the creamy layer here. Now, because of exactly this scenario, Supreme Court said that similarly placed candidates are being treated differently, and that doesn't sit right. That is not right, and that is why Supreme Court said that salary income cannot be the sole basis of deciding the OBC creamy layer. Now in this context, can you tell me in the comment section that which are the relevant articles when we are talking about OBC creamy layer determination and also the reservation? Let me know in the comment section. Now, once we have understood the issue, let us also understand deeper that when we are looking at the clarification, we understand that the center wants to know that what to do of the results. But why center wants to know? Because as of now, this result is not just about a list. It is about that this list of people are already getting the services, and the services allocation is much dependent on how Supreme Court decides to take up this ruling in this context of the given result. Now you will ask, how does that matter? This matters because this will be reopening OBC eligibility. This will affect the category wise marks and their cutoffs, and that will affect the result and service allocation. That means the training might be delayed, there will be issues in allocation, the administrative load will be there, and furthermore it is going to affect the seniority, pay fixation and so much more. So that is why center is looking to understand that if we have to do the revamp of this whole result that has been declared, or we can go ahead. And this is where I want to tell you a very important doctrine comes into the picture. Now what is that doctrine that might be able to help us understand? That is rules of game doctrine. The name itself gives you the idea that once you are playing the game, the rules are set first. If the game is already in the play, the rules will not be changed later. On similar note, so in this context, there is a very settled, clear principle in service law that the selection criteria that has to be clarified, told, and it cannot be changed after the process has begun. So it needs to be told before, and once the process has started, it cannot be changed. And this is exactly what Supreme Court has applied this principle, and they have said this is applicable to recruitment processes and admission processes. This is what Supreme Court has told in past, and that is why center wants a go ahead on this. But the main concern here, the dilemma which is present here, that should there be a correction of the process that has gone wrong. If Supreme Court says that salary income should not be the only criteria, then the selection that has happened on this basis is to an extent wrong. And if that is wrong, that needs to be corrected. So that is why center is relying on a broader concern here, that reopening an entire selection process, this is going to affect candidates, their appointments, allocation and also the administrative setup. But at the same time, this might be wrong to the people who are fitting right as per Supreme Court's verdict. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section. I'll be waiting for your thoughts. I'll be leaving you here with a prelims practice question. These are the two questions that are here for you today. Let me know the answer to these in the comment section. I'll be waiting for your answers. That was all from my side. Thank you so much.